All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get started. Donna, are you on now? I can see you, but you're muted. So we'll start by asking for any topics we want to go over today.
Probably the planning meetings, plural. Oh, and I guess maybe like updates from the committees.
Okay. Those are good. Anything else?
Tried to give an updated finance report, but I'm having a problem printing it out. So hopefully my laptop connects to my printer shortly.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think 2021 planning will probably be our biggest topic. With that, like the website planning. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about today? The commission vote for the 641 cost that happened on last Tuesday. We can touch on that if we would like.
I don't know about necessarily a topic, more of a question really. Do you know if Mike's planning on doing his coat giveaway this year with everything going on?
Oh, I don't think so. All right, well, we'll get started, and if any other topics come up, we can bring them up as we go. Yeah, so I saw that Mike, who lives at the corner of Ann and Sycamore, is that the street? Who does the hot chocolate and coat giveaway each year. I saw on Nextdoor a little while back he had written he was not planning to do it, but I haven't spoken with him directly. Someone just joined MBB. Okay, well, we'll see if they want to chime in. So I think he was gonna do maybe collect donations. I can't remember, but I can touch base with him as well and see if there was anything we can push out, like on social media, that he was doing around his little library and free pantry. I did attend the area commission zoning committee meeting, as well as the regular commission meeting, just to see how the vote, and then to chime in on any points that needed to be made during the discussion. And so the zoning committee voted all in favor of the 641 East Cotha Street development. And then the commission as a whole, there were a few nays, but it did, the majority were for the proposal.
Hey, Liz,
Yes.
Curtis Davis sent out that email saying, offering like a counter proposal, saying we think we've got it worked out. Cohen's gonna pay KSG $5,000, blah, blah, blah. Is that proposal still existing, do you know, or did any movement on that?
My understanding is that proposal, that offer is still out there, but any formal arrangements haven't been made yet. Because part of that is that the Casa Street Garden could move their gardening to the Healthy Homes Urban Forest. And I think that some kind of, more formal agreement needs to happen around that. And that would be between Michael Duty or the Casa Street Garden and in Children's Hospital or Healthy Home.
And I also think that it's contingent on the approval by City Council and Zoning and Development.
That on the 641 East Casa Street proposal. Okay.
Yes, that goes before City Council, tentatively now scheduled for December, I want to say 7th. And there are letters that are being sent to City Council regarding, some of the concerns being expressed, for lack of a better word.
Okay, so that $5,000 donation that they offered to the Casa Street Garden would not be finalized until this proposal was finalized.
Correct. Until the zoning is approved, and any letters needing to be sent are shared with Councilwoman Tyson. And I do have the email address for anyone who wishes to send a letter, either yay or nay, because some of the questions that were raised at the Southside Area Commission on Tuesday of last week were not exactly addressed, such as what are the building materials going to look like in light of some of the building materials that were used on the property a couple of doors down from my house. Are they going to use the same kind of tin on the outside, or are they going to use vinyl siding? I mean, those questions were never answered by Tracy or Juliet. So anything that happens with Casa Street and Healthy Homes is contingent on what transpires with City Council.
Okay. And you think that meeting is tentatively December 7th? Okay, so we can move on then to the committee updates. Is that okay?
Okay. I'm going to step away because my printer is doing something crazy. So.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I guess I can go first. I've done nothing since we did our vote. so I'm gonna be honest there. No updates to be said on the zoning board or zoning committee. I guess I should probably get something scheduled, kind of maybe wrap up of the year. I'll send out an email.
I guess I can go next. So actually, I have not yet gotten those estimates that I had requested. So I do actually need to follow up on those. My apologies for not getting that done sooner. I'd hoped to have them for this meeting, but I'll follow up with those companies that I reached out to about getting an estimate on the cost of just like mailing out, like a first time welcome letter to everyone in Southern Orchards. And then I'll work on scheduling a follow-up outreach committee meeting.
I have no update, and in fact, I'd like to resign as chair or whatever of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee and sign that to somebody that can get it done. But we can talk about that.
Okay, we can also put that down to bring up, at our next regular meeting, December 1st. I have not done anything with the nominations committee, but obviously I will need to do something with that. So I can also mention that at our next meeting to see if I can get any other members for that committee. As we'll need to fill some roles next year. Donna, did you have any updates as far as the audit committee?
Donna, you're muted.
Mute. Donna, you're muted.
Sorry about that. The audit committee did not meet in October because I was anticipating funds coming in from other locations and funds going out to pay the presenters for the Night of Safety and Liberation. So we're going to meet in January and just do a full year audit. And it will probably be after I receive the December report from the bank. And I do have an updated report that I was able to finally print out. And we currently have a balance of $2,283.96 in the checking account, $299.25 in the savings account. We had deposits within the month of November in a total of $73, and we had expenditures of $150. So that is why the balance is now at $2,283.96. It is my hope that as we plan for the upcoming year, consider moving a portion of those funds into savings so we're gaining more interest than the 1 penny we're currently gaining every month because we have such a low balance. But I've not heard of any more presenters who were to get paid. I know Atticus was looking into that, and I have still not received the $350 from Senator Craig that he had said he would donate to the Civic Association. So that's the extent of my report at this time.
Donna?
Yes.
Of the total balance, how much of the funds came from the National Night Out event?
That amount was, we received $350 from Representative Crawley. Nationwide Children's Hospital donated $1,000 to the Civic Association to be used for whatever needs we see fit.
Oh. Cool. So, oh, and that's all we've gotten? So, I mean, not,
Yes,
that's, cool. So the nationwide didn't have to be spent for National Night Out.
it was for whatever we chose to use those expenses towards.
Okay. And how much money did we spend for National Night Out?
So far, only $150. I've not gotten a bill from Atticus yet for the Facebook expenses to
Oh.
promote it.
Okay, so there's money coming out. Okay.
There will still probably be funds coming out, but I've not yet received any invoices for reimbursement.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, then I guess our next topic is planning for 2021. And I apologize, I had really intended to do a lot more in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I've had a sick dog and it's been very involved. So I honestly, I've started, typing up a survey and looking at our, event calendar and meeting calendar for the next year. And then I've also started putting together kind of a report of 2020. So I guess I'm looking for some help in maybe organizing how we want to plan for 2021. I feel it's going to be pretty hard with, COVID. We should probably, kind of continue to plan as if things are going to be like they are now, but maybe leave some flexibility, over the future year if we want to add events later on. If things get better, but I don't know if we should count on that at this time. So,
Thing I know we had discussed was the garden tour and moving it up a couple of weeks in July. Because of COVID, I think how we did it this year was pretty good and very safe in that we provided masks and sanitizer and people could just walk through and we monitored the social distancing. And I was surprised that there were visitors from other areas, not just here in Southern Orchards. So maybe reaching out to Al and Ken, depending on how the COVID situation is going, to see if this year they would like to partner with us, seeing as how we are moving it to an earlier date. So that's something we can probably begin to plan for. And then if COVID settles down, to think about moving National Night Out back to August. I think the problem we might have run into, although I was very pleased with the attendance and the way it was handled virtually, if we have to do it virtually again, summer might be a better time than fall, because I know that there were people working from home who couldn't necessarily log in and participate because they were on Zoom calls or what have you for their employers.
Yeah, and I think maybe planning for an August event this year, you know, if it still needs to be virtual, you know, we'd be able to plan for August instead of postponing to October. So I think that is very doable. I was trying to look, I'm looking up our, trying to find the meeting where we proposed the new date for the garden tour meeting. Does anyone remember what date we proposed?
September?
For the garden tour?
Yeah.
I found it. We proposed July 11th, 2021.
Okay.
So last year, we had also planned to do an egg hunt, a civic open house potluck, trick or treat, and the hot chocolate and Coke giveaway. Those were things that we were looking to organize. So, and then litter cleanups as well. So we'll probably want to talk about, you know, or get feedback on if we want to do anything for those events, plan anything for those events for 2021.
I would like to propose we consider, if, depending on the status of health in our city, one thing that we did, not this past summer, but the summer before last, we tried to do porch get-togethers where neighbors could just get together and meet one another. We did it at Cat and Ben's over on 17th, and that was kind of a good way to meet people who you wouldn't have met. So just to maybe plan 2 or 3 of those and maybe incorporate the garden tours another way. So maybe 2 porch events where people can just come by, meet your neighbors, say hi, welcome. And since as treasurer, I'm always thinking of the bottom line, pay their membership dues if they haven't done so in January.
I wonder if we could incorporate like the egg hunt into maybe like a porch thing similar to the garden tour.
Well, it depends on, you know, Easter. I don't know when it's going to be next year, but if it's in March,
If the weather's bad, yeah.
you can have snow on the ground.
So Easter next year is going to be Sunday, April 4th. So we'd probably be looking at like end of March for an egg hunt thing. I think that might still be a little early in the year, for all things considered, but we might have time now. I know, what was it, Ganther's Place did, you know, like that Amy Atkins, like, approved like egg hunt thing. So we might have time to like plan for something like that.
Or we could do the scavenger hunt similar to what was done with the Halloween trick or treat. Have eggs placed in various locations, and we have a map showing, you know, these are the houses that will have Easter eggs for you to find. I mean, I used to, when my children were little and there weren't any Easter egg hunts in the community, we had one at our own house, and I had eggs scattered all over the place. Of course, I lived in a semi-rural area, so making sure that the raccoons had not discovered them before the kids did was always a challenge. But it would be a different take on the scavenger hunt, especially since we may not have access to Cossack Street Gardens, which is where I think it was held before.
It was at Kobacker Park, which is still going to be a park.
That's true.
Okay, so
So Liz, were you going to send out a survey of ideas to people and try to capture that so we can firm it up in January?
yeah, I started a survey. I got kind of lost on what I wanted the main goal of the survey to be. So I think maybe it should be what kinds of events, the goal should be to figure out what kinds of events and activities people would be interested in participating in 2021. I don't know if we want to get what other feedback we want to get from people. And I am gonna put this out there. Last year, only, maybe a couple of people completed the survey. So I would, I guess I haven't put that much time into it so far. But I just need a little more direction on what goals we want, what kind of feedback we want to get from the survey.
I can't remember if I completed one or not. But, the mission of the Civic Association is to engage our neighbors, and we want to give them an opportunity to not only participate, but to grow and strengthen the Civic Association. Because I personally think the more people we have involved, the more opportunities we have to share what needs to be done in the Civic Association over multiple platforms. Especially in light of us possibly losing 3 of our strongest officers in the course of the next year. So we're going to have to get more people involved. And the best way is to, host activities and let them know how much fun we're having. And they can come up with fresh ideas. Members.
Maybe something we can ask about in the survey is how people feel like the virtual meetings are going. And maybe any feedback they have for ways that we can do it better, since we're probably gonna still be doing this for at least a couple months.
Yeah, virtual meeting feedback, I think would be good to get. Okay. So I will continue to work on this survey. I think that I need to have it done by Tuesday, our meeting date. So maybe I'll finish it today, send it out to you all to give any feedback on, and then we can launch it on Tuesday. I think if I do the planning meeting on Saturday, it should be, I mean, you guys can disagree or we can discuss it more, but I guess I'm kind of thinking maybe it should just be my report out of what we have done over the last year, and then collecting any feedback from any members that want to participate in that meeting.
I think that would be a good idea, because for some people, they may not know what's transpired. They may not be reading the emails or hearing about what's going on. So I think kind of like a little annual review of all that has been accomplished despite, virtual meetings and social distancing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's what I've tried to do the last couple of years, is have a little bit of like a report back on what we've done over the last year. I think it's really important to kind of just like reflect on our accomplishments and see where we might need improvement. But I don't think that I don't think that it'll be beneficial to do all of the planning in that meeting. I think it should just be the report out and then feedback collection. And then I will put together a draft calendar as well for Tuesday. And then I think that our events, we'll refine that calendar over the next month as we receive more feedback, and finalize it in January, but have some flexibility for how things might change in the next year.
Well, I think, making the adjustments this year was pretty beneficial, because when you consider there was a shutdown, then there was an open, then there was another shutdown, and being nimble is key. So I commend you on providing that flexibility to enable us to do things in spite of what was going on around us. So thank you. Question.
Yeah.
Who is Aaron Kreis? He was on and now he's not on anymore.
He has the property at, he's a developer who came before us a couple years ago with the property at 18th and Forest.
Okay. Yes, he has a storefront there on Forest.
Yeah, an office.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been a member of the Civic Association as a, property owner, I guess. But I'm not sure if he's
Not
current.
this year.
Yeah, so last year he was, and he's helped out with the zoning committee as well.
Okay. Is that someone who, when Christian decides to head off to New Zealand, would be willing to step in? I am angry about that, but I'll get over. Is that someone who might consider stepping in Christian's capacity?
The only issue might be that he lives in Dublin. He doesn't actually live in the neighborhood, so that could pose an issue.
Got you.
Another thing that I would like to, if we're all willing to do, is to kind of do the committee planning again for 2021 like we did last year. I know we can't always, we set out with a certain plan and then things change over the year. But I think it's good to try to have a plan, even if it doesn't become realistic throughout the year. But especially if we're passing off, committee seats to someone else, maybe having a plan for them, will help them move forward with the committee. So I still have that form and I can send it out again, and maybe we can get a little plan together for each committee. And Donna, I don't know if you were at that meeting last year, so you might not know what I'm talking about.
I saw the form in Google Docs, and I did receive the names of those people who wanted to serve on the audit committee. And when I became treasurer, I reached out to them and they said they would be glad to do it. But as I said, unfortunately, getting that meeting scheduled when there was money coming in, going out, I wanted to make sure that we weren't necessarily wasting their time, because
Yeah.
it was changing rapidly. So hopefully, as I said, I want to schedule the meeting and I will send out a save the date for January so that we can review everything for the entire year and then set up a schedule, maybe not quarterly, but semi-annually, to review what our expenses are and, have a decision as to how much we should move into savings so that we can accrue some interest. But that will be based on what the expenses are anticipated for this coming year. Because I
Okay,
would really
let me share my screen really fast. There we go.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay, so you guys can see this, the purpose, goals, additional steps, and timeline. So that's what I'm talking about, just updating that for 2021 for each committee. And that will, maybe help give us some material to pass on if you're a committee to someone else. And then to, follow for 2021.
Now, the relationship with Church for All People, that is something that I have not done, and will probably have to get some guidance on who and what and how and why.
Yeah,
That-
and maybe that's not something that you want to do in 2021, I guess. I mean, that's up to you.
Okay.
You know, what you think the important steps would be for your committee in 2021.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm stopping sharing because my screen was very confusing. All right, is there anything else that we need to discuss for 2021 planning?
Finalized, Rachel, by 2021?
I'm sorry, what?
Bylaws be finalized for 21.
I'm withdrawing from that. I'm giving that to someone else. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not making any progress, so I'm just gonna, propose to give it to somebody else and they can take it off and finish it.
Okay,
So just to confirm, Saturday, we're having the review of what we've done this year and then like getting feedback from whoever shows up or going over any feedback that was sent in, correct?
Yeah, and I feel like it would be great if you all attended, but I don't think it's 100% necessary, if you have other responsibilities going on.
are you talking about this coming Saturday?
Yes. So back last year when we did our planning, we had set this Saturday as our annual planning meeting, December 5th. We didn't set a time. In the past, we'd done a couple hours we'd had a pretty long meeting at CD4AP, like in a conference room, and we gotten like coffee and donuts and kind of sat down and hashed out some stuff. Obviously that kind of a meeting's not doable this year. So I'm proposing I'll just give an update and collect feedback from anyone who can attend, and to have a little bit of a discussion with anyone who wants to participate. I don't think it'll be like last year where we really like hash out everything. I think that that's going to have to happen kind of over email and just communicating at our regular meetings about it as well. So, so if I do that on Saturday, the 5th, is there a time that you guys think would be best for people to join?
Morning works
works
best for us.
Mornings would be best for me.
Okay. So I'll probably
Not 8 o'clock in the morning.
I'll probably do that at 10 a.m. then, and I'll record it so anyone can view it later as well, and then they could fill out the survey, to give their feedback if they aren't able to attend in person. Okay, 10 a.m.
Well, if Rachel is handing off the bylaws, who is on her committee who might be able to pick it up? Hey, Rachel.
Hi, it was Atticus, Michael Duty, and John Spake.
Oh, okay. Who would you recommend spearheading it.
I think John Spake, if he would be willing.
Okay.
I mean, or Atticus or Mike.
Because so much work has already gone into it. Bringing somebody new on might not get it done. And they have the history.
All right, we'll bring that up as well, you know, at the next meeting on Tuesday. Is there anything? I honestly don't really have anything for the agenda on Tuesday. You know, anything external. Does anyone have anything that needs to be added to the agenda on Tuesday?
Actually, what is on the agenda for Tuesday? We have to set it.
Yeah.
Membership. People can start thinking about membership renewal starting in January.
Okay, yeah.
And I may have to touch base with Rachel because there are a couple of people who are members this year, but I don't have a contact number or address for them.
You can also, if you list those in an email and copy me on it, I can check our MailChimp
Okay.
account, which has like it doesn't have contact information for everyone, but if I had it previously, it'll be listed in there.
Okay, I will do that.
And I'll plan to give like an abridged version of our 2021 or 2020 report at that meeting as well, and then push out this survey. And I can ask for any feedback at that meeting as well. You know, since we don't have much on the agenda, maybe we can, you know, ask for a little bit more feedback or discussion from our members. Sometimes I feel like our last couple meetings, it's just really long and drawn out and we don't really hear from any members.
Yeah. I mean, the zoning issue took an awful lot of time. And I sat on the virtual meeting with the Southside Area Commission this past Tuesday. And that meeting was 2.5 hours. And it was the bulk of not just Southern Orchards, but other zoning that the commissioners were addressing. Liz, I think you were on that call too.
Yeah, I had it on in the background. I needed to do other things for that 2 hours, but
Same here.
I
yeah.
was listening.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. So yeah, I don't think we need to delve on. If you've received any emails from anyone that are addressing Cossett Street, you can forward those to me and I'll forward those to Natalie. And I will send Rachel the contact information so that if anybody wants to send a letter, they can, because it goes to Priscilla Tyson's administrative assistant. So I'll get that to Rachel.
Sure. And all the last meeting I sent out before the meeting about the EB, the one with like community updates, I did put the link in there for the folder in our drive where I have put all emails regarding the 641 Casa Street.
Okay,
Those are all in that folder.
thank you.
Mhm.
Will our city liaison, would they might possibly have a report?
Beth, from the, is that who you're talking about, or? I can see if, anyone bites at, giving a report at our Tuesday meeting. I'm sure Atticus will have a lot of updates. If he can always talk about programs and things for as long as the time would give him. So, anything else we need to discuss today? All right, well, this has been a great meeting. Kept it right just under 1 hour, which is what I like. If hearing nothing else to discuss, I guess I propose we end the meeting.
I'll
I
second.
second.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
See you
Okay,
Tuesday.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.